There's a lot of contact. So I was in and out of the doctor's office over the years, and getting prescribed a lot of medications and telling to take a lot of time off and things like that. So I felt there had to be a different way. You know, when I would ask about, you know, certain foods or nutrients, I didn't really get much back. So I just kind of started looking on my own.
Okay. And then how did that lead to you kind of advising other folks in this stuff?
It started in my own gym. So a lot of guys saw that I was always in great shape, that they always said like I had an internal gas tank, and I always being trained really hard. I was always the guy who could spar more rounds. I was always the guy who could run farther and faster. I made weight easier than everybody else. So, you know, you're going to notice that. You know, why am I suffering and this guy's not? You know, this guy cuts more weight than me, but he looks fine. You know, I'm working so hard, and he can go longer than me. So the guys started to realize that. Also, just kind of my like post-workout protocols and the foods that I brought with me. Everyone started to kind of notice that. And when they started to ask me about it, I had scientific answers. So that kind of the smarter guys started to realize that I knew what I was talking about, and they started picking my brain whenever I was in the gym. And more that just kind of became the thing, and my coaches were starting to send their fighters to me to talk, and I was working with regular clients, and fighters were coming to me, and it's something I've been doing, I mean, honestly, since my early 20s. Okay. You know, because it was just something that I always did and enjoyed, and guys were asking me when I was in the gym.
And then how did it lead up to, you know, you working with Danny for the last fight?
So with Danny, it was man, that was just it was. It was, I don't want to say it was like serendipity, the way it worked out. You know, it was just the timelines worked out, and that he had this huge fight, and he wanted the best possible preparation. And I was off at the time, and I was working with Stony Brook, and I think that had gotten wind to a lot of people that I was working with athletes, and you know, our management spoke to each other and see if we could work it out, and we did.
Danny talked about it being more valuable than just a nutritionist, having a guy like yourself who's been in that ring and had those experiences. I don't know how close you guys were before that, but it seemed like, you know, it became more than just a professional thing, a good relationship developed there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have taken the job if I didn't know Danny on a personal level. I didn't know him and didn't like him. Okay. You know, because you got to spend 8 weeks with a guy, day in and day out. I mean, you got to get along with him. So we had that background that, you know, we were familiar and friendly. But definitely spending that much time with someone, going through an experience like that, and me sharing my experiences in a similar situation, definitely, you know, a relationship created out of that. And, you know, he's a great guy, and what he's done is an incredible thing. And the training camp was great. You know, we had really, I mean, the whole team, everybody came together, you know, and Danny went out and he performed great.
What was the daily experience out like during the camp?
So it was funny. I was the first guy Danny saw in the morning, and I was pretty much the last guy he saw at night. Okay. You know, so I'd wake him up, we'd go for our morning run or do our morning conditioning, which I did with him and everything. We'd eat, we'd talk, we'd watch tape. He would rest. I'd go do whatever other things I had to do that day, and I was still working with Stony Brook, so I would Skype with my athletes back at home, and I would talk to them on the computer. And then we'd go to the boxing gym, we'd box, whether he had sparring or just regular boxing training. When I would get my workouts in around his, and then I would be there to make sure that, you know, just watch what he's doing, kind of so I get an idea of how he was progressing. And then we'd go home, we'd have dinner, we'd, you know, talk and hang out a little bit more, and send him up to bed, and I'd go home, and go to my room, go to sleep.
Has this brought you even more attention? Like, are you getting more calls from guys saying, "Hey, I saw what you did with Danny"?
Yeah, actually, so it's funny. So this year with the Stony Brook athletes, you know, in the beginning of the first semester was during the football season. Big team, a lot of guys. You got 90 plus guys on the team. A lot of guys to see and talk to about their nutrition. But once they saw me on 24/7. Yeah. Now my inbox is full, and these guys, I can't see them. I can't, you know, I can't get rid of them. They're constantly trying to see me and talk about nutrition, which has been pretty funny. But now also, yeah, a lot of other people have been reaching out via social media, to, you know, calling up my manager and trying to figure out, you know, how I can help, what we can do.
And what does this kind of mean? Like, what are your nutrition-wise? What are the goals? What are kind of some of the theories, or not theories, but the strategies you're working with?
So. Honestly, I've always known that nutrition was going to be my career after boxing. I didn't think it was going to overlap like this, in terms of working with the fighters and during my own career. But I mean, the sky's the limit with that. I've been working on a book for a while, so that's something I think that when it's ready and when the public is ready for it, I think that would be that'd be a great goal in my life to kind of get that out there and be a published author.
Okay.
And then from there, I like to teach. I like to teach. I like to talk to groups. I like public speaking. So being able to share my unique skill set, knowledge, and experience is something that I think I'd like to do for many years.